and I am joined by an icon in fitness, in the celebrity world, as a woman, as a female entrepreneur, and overall a badass. In my life, I've been blessed by this woman, and I know so many of you have as well, but we're gonna dive deeper with Brooke Burke here today. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for that sweet intro. We're friends, so it's a little bit odd to hear her speak about me while I'm sitting next to her. I appreciate that.
I really mean every word, and so many people that I speak to about you, they ask me, how is it really? First of all, I love that you get to do her booty burn, and I feel like knowing you, not only has it improved my personal outlook on the way I believe in myself, and as a woman, I feel like I've learned more about my body and how to be in tune.
I love that.
But I've also learned how to become more elegant because of you.
Oh, wait. What do you mean by that? Because I find you as such an elegant, feminine woman, even though I'm fully aware of your strengths, which are amazing, and they are many. And you've said that to me a lot. So, tell me more about that.
So I've been in business for over 11 years and in a leadership role, and I tend to sometimes go more the masculine energy.
Yeah.
And when I met you, I was like, wow, here's this powerful female leader who lives with so much intention and purpose to serve, but you're so loving and kind and feminine.
Thank you.
And the contrast, Brooke, is beautiful. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That really means a lot to me, because there's been seasons and times in my life where I think I struggled with strength, masculinity, being independent, the confusion of that between powerful women and independence and success.
Yes.
That gets convoluted and confused with masculine energy.
Yeah.
And you and I have discussed that a lot. It's really nice to hear that. Thank you. And I think that there's a beautiful blend when you evolve as a woman and you can sort of bask in your strengths and get rid of the fear about being too strong.
Yeah.
And just kind of watch all that blossom. It took me a while. It took me into my 40s.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, can we even believe it? And can you just take us back? And I really want to know, and a lot of people want to know a little bit about your career, right? You're a mom. She's a mother of four kids.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
They raised me as much as I raised them, if that makes sense at
Yeah.
all. I always wanted to be a mother. I always wanted to have lots of children. I had no idea that I would be so blessed to have 4 healthy children, 3 daughters, 1 little boy. It's amazing. It's as beautiful as it is challenging and difficult, to be honest. I've had to learn to parent them all differently. I've had to learn a new language for each child.
Wow.
I've had to change my ways of everything that I thought I knew that worked with one, failed with the next.
Yeah.
I've had to open my mind. I've had to relearn. I've had to become a student, if you will, which is so weird because I am in charge and I'm the parent and I'm not the friend, but I'm just learning every day, raising my kids. So that's my top priority. But one of the things that I speak and preach and believe so deeply in is that women, business women, especially mothers, can do anything and everything they decide to do.
Oh.
Right? Anything and everything they decide to do, and they decide to do it. And I've said this 1,000 times, so it feels like old news, but it's so important. I've accomplished more as a mother than I did before I became a mother.
Wow.
So in that is the freedom and the opportunity for women to kind of lean into, we can do anything we want.
Yeah.
And with that comes boundaries. I mean, we could talk for hours about this.
Well, and I want to talk about this because you've designed your life. I mean, if I...
Finally. So finally now.
Okay.
I love that you're saying
Yeah.
that. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know how to do that. And I wasn't doing that in my 20s, 30s,
Okay.
40s,
Yeah.
mid 40s.
Yeah.
So, and I went through some major ups and downs in the roller coaster of life, marriage, divorce, blended family, heartache, love, all of it. So
Yeah.
when you say I redesigned my life, yeah, I have now. It feels so good, but it took me a long time. It took me many, many painful learning lessons.
Yeah.
It took me many failed opportunities to figure out what's on the other side of that. And the ability to have the power to be the architect of my own life.
It's beautiful.
And I guide a lot of programs on that. Be the architect of your life.
Yeah.
Design your life. What does it look like? What are the colors? What is your palette?
Yeah.
Imagining it like a canvas, narrating it in full color. There's music, there's sense, there's smell, there's touch,
I
there's
love
feeling.
it. Yeah.
Like, it's all super corny. But when you decide to take power in that, take control in that, you get to create your own masterpiece.
That's
right?
beautiful. And something, we've met nearly 4 years ago, but, and obviously I've known about you my whole life, pretty much. And, when I look back of all the things you've accomplished and all the things you've tried, and from Dancing with the Stars, but the thing that's so cool, and I was so freaking inspired when I was researching you. I'm trying not to get emotional because I just am like, damn, like she has thrown herself into this and done extremely well. And then you've tried this, and then you've created this. And it's like the definition of an entrepreneur. And we think sometimes like, oh, it's going to go straight up and it's going to be this easy path. But no, it's up and down and all around, and it's a roller coaster. And the thing I love about you, Brooke, is you continue to get better. You continue to evolve. And can you just give any sound advice? Because at the time we're recording this, people's worlds have changed. People feel unmotivated. They feel like, who am I to start a business? Who am I to talk on Instagram? Like
this weird world that we live in.
How have you, though, for real, like continue to move forward?
Gosh, there's so many things I want to say to that. First of all, I love your heart and your vulnerability. And even to see your eyes tear up for me means so much as a woman, because I've also watched your journey, and I feel like you're a little sister, but I also have mad respect and admiration for you. So all those compliments really mean so much to me, because I wasn't always that woman. I always was a risk taker.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault, an adrenaline junkie, if you will, some might say, back in the Wild On days. I was really so lucky and blessed to be raised by a super strong stepfather. I almost said father, but not to confuse the audience.
Yeah.
I speak about him as my father because he raised me, and it takes so much to be a parent.
Yeah.
So I credit him. If I ever speak about my father, it's really my stepfather,
Got it.
Armin, who's no longer with us. But he raised me to be really brave and to take lots of chances and to be unapologetically me, and to never be afraid to fuck things up. And not to be crude, but in the most simple terms, when you're not afraid to fuck up, you get to do so many things, and you get to take chances and be okay when things go wrong. And I've tried a lot of different things. I've been blessed to have a career in the entertainment business and do lots of network shows. I've done some not so great shows. I've tried to produce these what I thought were fabulous ideas that ended up on the editing floor. I've had interactions with so many different brands and companies, endorsements, some great, some still going, some failed. And I've always liked to try new things. And, when I say a risk taker, I'm talking like adrenaline junkie, from skydiving to swimming with sharks to traveling the world to putting my baby in the baby Bichon and doing 40 countries with Naraya, where people thought I was crazy, but I was the young mom in the group and I didn't know any better. And I was like, it's you and me against the world. We're going on the road. Things that I look back now and I say, that was batshit crazy. And Stuart, I wish I could pan to him right now, has been with me for like over 20 years. We've done a little bit of anything and everything, some good, some not so good. Some right, some wrong. I just feel like, and my dad taught me this too, like, don't leave this world wondering, like, what coulda, shoulda been. And not every parent is going to say that.
No.
And I teach my children that too. Climb the tree, fall out of the tree. Maybe you break an arm. I'm not reckless with their health and wellness, but I've never been that helicopter mom where
Right.
I want them to try and
Yeah.
succeed and fail and screw up and make mistakes
yeah.
and maybe get hurt and maybe get a broken heart and then learn to love again. And maybe, I mean, there's so many layers of this. Like I have goosebumps too.
Yeah.
Of this conversation. I just really believe in taking chances, and I believe that fear really gets in your way. The younger me would have said that it tells you what to do.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that anymore. I think it gets in your way and it's toxic.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that little voice that tells you what to do so it can nudge you to
Right.
go to where fear is. But the conquering of that, the getting over that, I should say, that's like how I live my life.
It's beautiful. Wow. It's so
crazy.
and I feel like what you're saying, when I've thrown myself into things where it's like, what the shit am I doing right now?
That's why I want you to live.
yeah,
I know you, and I want you right there.
On the other side of it, I gain so much more confidence. Like
for
I'm
sure.
like, I did that, I can do this, I got this. And another thing that I've noticed about you, you are insanely like present when you're doing things. Like you give me presence, and energetically you're there, you connect with people. Even though your world is crazy, kids are calling, people are calling, we need this video, we need that. It's like you really take the time, I've noticed this about you, to value relationships and to host people. And I mean, how important is that even in a crazy busy career?
That means so much to me because I was not always present. And the bittersweet curse of being disconnected.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked about this publicly, but that bittersweet curse of being disconnected allows me to do live television in my career without so much fear that it could probably take my breath away or prevent me from reading the teleprompter, or I wouldn't be able to hold my shit together in front of tens of millions of people. So I wasn't always present and connected. I became that woman later in life where I decided to dig down deep and face all the disappointments and all the conflict and the history and the little hidden boxes inside of me that I just locked up and put away. Part of that led me to my position in the career that I have in the wellness business.
Yeah.
I became a breathwork teacher.
Yeah.
Because breathwork saved my ass.
When did you start that? Because I've been privileged to do her breath work. And I've actually, some of you may seen it, How to Get Out of a Slump, a keynote I did. I wrote 3/4 of that talk after Brooke's breath work.
I remember that night.
Yeah.
So real quick, because I know you and we can pivot so much in this conversation. Breathwork will change your life. The work is undeniable. It's like 100 hours of therapy. Some people would say 1,000. My guru, Jean-Paul Crimini, who I will always admire and credit and be grateful for, changed my life at a very difficult time where I was struggling with one of my daughters. I felt like I was bleeding inside. I felt like I wasn't breathing properly. I was really struggling as a parent, as a woman, as a human, to just navigate conflict with my children, one of my children, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I was dragged to a breathwork class with some of my girlfriends. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know any other way to explain it, and it's hard to explain what it is. It's really an experience. But the hour that I spent breathing, being still, getting present, getting honest with myself was one of the hardest, greatest gifts and most freeing moments of my life.
Wow.
Breathwork is, in the most simple forms for me, an opportunity to be with yourself, to learn and discover and listen.
Yeah.
When I did your first breathwork session, and I remember we were in Malibu, and it was a very intimate class, and I know what a baller you are. I know what a motivational speaker you are. I know how much you inspire your audience. I remember watching you listen to the language of your soul, watching the emotions flow, and watching the creative juices that came out of you after that. I think you went home and wrote.
Yes, I did.
So there's all kinds of positive, beautiful things that happen in breath work. There's also a lot of healing, self-inquiry. There's a lot of discovery, and there's a lot of letting go that happens, which I think is so important for women. So when I hear you, going back, say that I'm present, that means a lot to me, because I've worked really hard to be that way.
Yeah.
And I've worked really hard to narrate that messaging in my wellness business to women, because in presence, we get really honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
We stop hiding from our own truth, and then we can sort of face what's in the way and where we are, where we're going.
Yes.
And so that is what I'm really passionate about what I'm doing right now. And it's so important for the journey of everyone to understand where you are, what's in your way, where you were, where you're going.
Yeah, to go inward is the most powerful thing you could ever do.
And scary.
Really hard. Yeah. So when did you go? I mean, you're major in the health and wellness world. Major. I mean, your app has changed millions of lives, and you're a huge advocate. When did all that transpire?
I've always been an advocate for women's health, partially going through my own struggles with autoimmune and cancer, and just sort of being a spokesperson for other projects to educate women and sort of break that third wall between the medical world and the real world. And so I've always been passionate about that. Fitness has always organically been a part of my life, in good ways and in bad ways. And now I'm raising 3 daughters. So what is the messaging, and how important is fitness really to the big development of a woman? Yeah. So when fitness sort of digitized, and I was really screwing around on social media, creating these homemade workout videos, because that's what we all do. We're all talking to ourselves. It's all weird. We're all on Instagram. We're all directors and producers, and it's like our own reality show. I kind of lean into it and embrace it, but at the same time I laugh at it, because it is weird. Our generation and our kids are even weirder. But I was just throwing some stuff up there and got a great response, and then reconnected with Stuart, who kind of runs the whole video production. And it was really an idea. Really a little idea and a conversation and an experiment, and that's who I am. I was like, why don't we just try this? And then one little idea became this big idea that's now a full-blown business with lots of potential to reach out to the masses. But it's really, for me, about the commitment of guiding and encouraging and educating women way beyond fitness, how to find their feel good, how to change their lives, how to remember who they were before they were moms, how to not lose themselves in the demands of being a badass business person or a CEO or just an entrepreneur, I don't want to say balance, because for me balance is way too much pressure. I don't even like that word.
I don't like it either.
I don't like that word.
I'm like balance.
I'm like managing the madness and the chaos of everyday life, and learning how to be okay when things go wrong. But my fitness commitment and passion became more about mindfulness, and that segued into breath work, yoga, meditation, sound baths, all of these things that are really connected, in fitness and is sort of the nucleus. So my app is the nucleus of this much bigger picture of building Brooke Burke Body. That's about connecting women. It's about helping moms. It's about finding ways to check out of your world and go back to self and feel good and figure out how to create your digital gym at home in 10 minutes, which we love to show people even on the gram. How to just find ways to honor yourself.
So good.
And that might mean working out, that might mean meditation, that might mean getting a better night's sleep, that might mean tapping into your mojo and finding your sensuality, that might mean, so many things, right?
Gosh, it's incredible. If you're not on the app, get on the app.
you.
And the community, like I'm blessed I get to do it in person.
I wish everybody did.
But when I'm in hotels and traveling, I just plug in the app and it's like I can crush a workout. It's
I
so
appreciate that because community, I'm glad you said that. We need a support system as women. So community is everything, right? And we need an accountability buddy, which is who we usually are. It's like, hey, are you coming to class? No, why not?
I got your spot. Hurry up. Just
connecting in ways. I mean, the shift because of this pandemic, and I want to call it a necessary conscious shift with the good and the bad, really forced us to live a little differently, I think. It really did. But it also allowed us to be more conscious of time, money, food, connection. I mean, the list goes on
priorities,
and on. But we figured out how to live at home and do it in a more sensible way and a smarter way. We say sweat smart on the app a lot. What does that mean? That means figuring out how to save money, be more mindful of your time, be more conscious of how we treat our bodies, and maybe give yourself 5, 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes at home. It's all possible. Like, I don't know when I'm ready to get in the car again for 45 minutes. No joke.
Right.
Even though sometimes we crave our hot yoga, I still love it.
Yeah.
But how to be safe and how to be mindful with time and energy. Yeah. Because we're outputting so much energy.
We are. Every day.
Kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's essential to put yourself on the list. Have some time. I call it slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
Like after we do classes, after I do the app, after I do breath work, it's like I feel like I'm like 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm ready to go.
And I've seen you in that space, so I love that, slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
And you said it's essential to put yourself on the list. So the younger me would have echoed that, and I was way down on the list. The older me, little sister, is going to tell you to put yourself at the top of the list. So you tell an American woman that, and they're like, whoa, you are selfish.
Right.
And I used to cruise at the bottom of the totem pole. And, you know, women my age will giggle now and older when they hear that, because that's the journey of learning how important it is to put yourself at the top of the list so that you could be a better mom, better parent, better lover, better boss, better everything, because I know how to create energy. I know how to feed my soul. I know how to check out. I know how to define my boundaries. I know how to say no so that I can say yes.
I want to go there for a minute because you've got so many people coming at you.
Little ones,
so
children.
Like I mean, you can imagine how in the heck do you, this word boundaries, right? How do you do that? How do you decide what's important, what's not? I mean, is it kind of like career-wise and then family and then what feeds your soul, or what have you learned through that?
I was just having a conversation with one of our girlfriends. I won't name any names unless she lets us call her out. Then we'll have her on the show.
Okay.
About boundaries, and she's like, "Can you please teach me that? Because I'm really failing with boundaries." And she's really kind. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And she's really giving, and so are we, by the way. I just don't compromise in defining my boundaries and saying no so that I can create space for more feel good for me, for myself as a woman, also for my children. It's just, I want to say, you have to learn how to do it. You have to do it without guilt. Yeah. You have to make it a practice. Boundaries allow you space to be who you need to be. Yeah. Look at the pandemic and COVID. One of the biggest struggles were people who were stuck at home in small spaces. Doesn't matter whether you live in an apartment, whether you're talking about, you know, an estate at home or where you live. You're all living together in a shared space. If you don't figure out how to create boundaries, your love life goes out the window. Right. Your kids are in your office. Your kids can't do their homework.
Right.
It's about creating spaces within spaces, right? And so that requires boundaries. Boundaries for what feels good. Boundaries for what's toxic when you make a wellness commitment. How do you say no to that? Yeah. How do you create, it's kind of like rules and regulations and boundaries for your own well-being. Yeah. Am I answering the question? I mean, it's hard.
So did it take you a while to like for example, a lot of us close women, like we'll go to dinner, and something I loved, I could tell you were busy and you're like, ladies, I just need to stay home tonight to refuel. And I was like, mad respect.
I love it. Thank you.
No, I was like, because I feel that.
Thank
Because
you.
you need time to be home or with
Yeah.
your loved ones or whatever, you know? And I was like, that's mad respect. And a lot of people would be a yes person.
So this was a girls' night, and I love me a girls' night.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, it's hard to motivate me to leave Malibu and go east to the 405, I'll be honest. But I love my girlfriends.
Right.
So it was girls' night, and it was dinner, and it was midweek, and it was one of those weeks where I was just tapped.
Yeah.
And Stuart, I'm gonna repeat something that was life-changing that he said to me. And you know, when you work so closely with someone
Yeah.
like Stuart and I, we spend a lot of times talking about life and a lot of times working, and we just have that. We have that, like, what am I trying to say, Stuart? We have that energy.
Synergy.
We have that synergy where we
Yeah.
help each other through difficult
Yeah.
times. But he said to me once, where I was just like tapped, I was running low, and he was like, every single person in your life, including children, and this isn't negative, takes a little bit of your life force.
Wisdom.
Just taps a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that in a new relationship and blended family, and sometimes 6, 7, 8 kids plus friends, doing all the things that I love doing as a mother.
Right.
That are perfectly normal for me, that I signed up for. So it wasn't, oh, poor me.
Right.
It was the reality and giving myself grace and the acknowledgement that every single little thing, including my dogs, by the way,
Yeah.
were just taking a little
Yeah.
bit of my life force. And so that night with the girls' dinner, and I'm not a woman that's going to make excuses.
Yeah.
I just called you and I was like, I would love to go. I just can't. I need to stay in.
Yeah.
And some of my girlfriends would be like, oh, that's so lame.
Yeah.
I was like, and you were just like, I
Yeah.
totally get it. And people that care about you
Yeah.
will honor your honesty and will honor your pause, right?
That's right.
And I think that night I put my pajamas
Yeah.
on and a face mask and I was
Yeah.
in bed by 9 and you girls, and I'm
Yeah.
at FOMO and I'm like watching
Yeah.
you girls having the best time. I knew that I needed that for
Yeah.
me. So that's part age, that's part
Yeah.
wisdom, that's part giving myself grace.
Yeah.
That's part me listening to my soul. That's part me listening
Yeah.
to my energy field,
Yeah.
my own frequency.
Yep.
Why am I low? Is it hormones? Am I coming down with something? No. Do I need more sleep? Am I getting interrupted?
Yeah.
Am I stressing? Is everyone in my life tapping my life
Yeah.
force? And do I need a moment for me? And then giving myself grace
Yeah.
in that time.
Yeah, that's so good. And I
Yeah.
love, you guys, if you have friends, they should understand that. And if not,
They should.
get new friends.
They
I'm
don't.
serious. I've had some needy people in my life and I'm like, bye. Like, we're not going to work.
Yeah. I think that goes back to many conversations, more personal,
Yeah.
that we've talked about. I think we may have discussed this in our first
Yeah.
or second Woman to Woman about editing your life.
Yeah.
I've guided women through this in some of my transformation retreats, editing not in an insensitive way, but editing your life so that you can remove things that don't support you,
Yeah.
that don't help
Yeah.
raise your average. And I don't like to speak about it as elevating your life because we're not on an agenda using
Yeah.
people to
Yeah.
elevate our life, hopefully.
Right.
But removing things in people at certain times of your life that aren't for your better good.
Yeah.
You know, and not that people are disposable. It's
Right.
not that. It's just understanding who it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And it's a really simple life lesson.
It's so simple.
Get rid of things that don't feel
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Things, stuff, substances, food,
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
and people. Like,
Yeah.
get rid of things that don't feel good. These are elementary concepts.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of food, I mean, I know everyone is wondering, and you never get this question. How do you look like this, stay so fit, and we go to dinner and you have a glass of wine? She eats, people.
I eat.
Yeah.
I eat well. I don't compromise flavor.
Yeah.
I know how to feed my body.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in better shape, and I enjoy my nutritional plan
Yeah.
more now than I did when I was in my 20s and I was a model and I was starving and I was eating gross food and I was training for an hour and a half a day.
Wow.
And I was more voluptuous and I just didn't understand my body. So intermittent fasting,
Yeah,
that's
love.
my jam.
Obsessed. Yeah.
I won't bore everyone with it. Look it up.
Yeah.
Don't make it complicated.
Yeah.
I eat in an 8-hour window and then I give my body a rest. The
Yeah.
other 16 hours. That allows me more freedom. I also work out so that I can
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes I eat so I can work out. I feel my body.
Yeah.
I've earned my wine.
Yeah.
I've earned my tequila. I'm recently trying to give up alcohol during the week.
Yeah.
Not easy. I don't have a problem with alcohol. I just like to discipline myself and shock my own body.
Totally.
But there's not a restaurant in the world that I can't go to and find a mindful meal, and that might be Mediterranean inspired. That might mean grilled fish. That might be a steak. That might be a glass of wine. That might be a beautiful salad. I'm not afraid of the oils, the nuts, the avocados, the good fats. Vegetables. I'm not afraid of butter.
Yeah.
So am I having the, scalloped potatoes and french fries with a mayonnaise? No. Am I going to start with, the fried dish? No. I'm going to eat a crunchy salad.
Right.
I'm going to drink soups and enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat meat and fish. Tons of vegetables.
Yeah. Love it.
I have no shame in the game with the wine. Am I
Yeah.
going to have dessert? No. Once in a while? Yeah.
Sure.
We got to break the rules.
Yeah.
And I believe in creating the sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Things that you can crush and
Yeah.
maintain, and all these quick fixes.
No.
All the, I don't believe in that, but I believe in designing a healthy lifestyle that you can enjoy, and that's different for every person. And then I also like sometimes doing a lot of the things that you do. Fast days, giving your body a break. Doing mostly plant-based, going green maybe on a Monday.
Yeah.
Doing certain cleanses.
Yeah.
I just like the challenge.
Yeah.
But on a regular day, on a regular week, I can go for a romantic dinner. I can have a family dinner.
Love
I can
it.
do all those things, and it's
healthy.
Yeah, I give up basic stuff: sugar,
Yeah.
flour, gluten when I can.
Right.
Processed foods, canned foods. It's really simple to
Yeah.
eat colorful and fresh.
I love it. It's not this dramatic yo-yo craziness. Yeah.
Yeah, the water weight, everything that you lose, you're just going to put right back on. But when you figure out how to feed your body, how to create energy, let's look at it like that. Let's forget about diet. I don't even like the D-I-E.
Right.
Just create a lifestyle that is going to give you more energy.
Yes.
That's going to make you feel better, not worse. I don't look at it as a sacrifice. I look at it as a practice and a discipline. We have to have discipline in our lives.
Yeah.
We have to have boundaries in our lives for love, life, work, success.
Yeah. I want to go off on this word discipline. So it is crazy. Something I found out, and you may not know, but Brooke was on Dancing with the Stars for how long?
Well, I hosted it for, 7 or 8 seasons. I danced for a season, which set me up for success in so many different areas of my life.
Okay.
So that was, I don't remember.
7 seasons. So here's the thing that I found so inspiring. I thought you had a dancing background. I thought you grew up as like a ballerina dancer, I don't know, cheerleader. Like, no. And one of our friends was like, I saw footage from when Brooke was training, and I saw a whole different side of her. And
me too.
and you crushed it. And I just, because there's so many people watching this right now where like they're not giving it their all. They like you. What I see about you is you give it your all. And you always say that's how you do anything.
Oh, you're reading my mind. That's a problem when you're so connected.
Yeah.
Like you're reading my mind. How you do anything is how you do everything.
What was this like, Brooke?
Hard, scary.
And you were a mom then.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. No joke. It was harder than childbirth. I know that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was. It was also one of the most impactful experiences of my life. I was not a dancer. That's true. Thank you for bringing that up. I have rhythm. I love to dance. I was scared shitless every single time I stepped out there on the floor. I practically had an out-of-body experience. Muscle memory for me, retaining choreography was a real challenge for me and my pro partner. So I worked harder than everyone else. I worked 7 days a week. They rehearsed for 8 hours. I rehearsed for 9. They took a afternoon off. I was back in the studio. I had just given birth to Shia. I think he was maybe 3 months old, so I was rolling through hormones. I had 4 kids at home, a baby. Crazy. Wow. I was on a mission. And my mission was not to win because I didn't have that faith in my body at that time. Okay? So that's a really important part of this. My mission was to not host the show, which my management team was like, you're going to dance on the show? Wait, why? Why don't you? I was like, I want to dance on the show so that people could get to know me uncensored, without my team, through this process, and get to really know the true colors of who I am.
Wow.
I had no idea how revealing and vulnerable and terrifying it was going to be. So I was privileged enough to get the opportunity to dance on the show, and I thought I was going to stick around for a few weeks. That was my goal, which would have been a great goal. Kim Kardashian was on my season. She got voted off week 1. I mean, you have no idea how freaking hard this is, and everything you think, you know,
right,
is wrong. Derek Huff, who's brilliant and I think one of the most talented choreographers in the world.
Yeah.
He had never won a Mirrorball trophy. He was a puppy. He was so young. He was also scared shitless. So we went through the process of learning how to connect, learning how to face our fears, learning how to train like an athlete, learning how to overcome fatigue, fear, injury, the mind game, inner dialogue, all of these things. On top of that, I had to learn how to leave my family for 8 or 9 hours a day.
Wow.
And count on a team to help raise my family. And David at the time, who wasn't my husband at the time, but he was my partner in life and the kids and love and everything. And he was actually a great encourager. And he was an athlete. And there were moments where I would cry. I would cry in the morning. I would cry at night in the shower.
Oh my gosh.
I had injuries. My body wasn't working.
Injuries?
I had like a disrupted tendon in my foot. I had a pulled groin muscle. I was working with this sort of like healer, chiropractor, amazing doctor named Dr. Ray Hall, and the show, and had said you need to take 6 weeks off for this to heal, which would have mean the show's over.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not really an option. So what else? What else you got? What else you got, doctor? Heal me. But so we did a lot of, and this is probably going to sound really weird to a lot of people, but we did a lot of visualizing.
That's awesome.
We did a lot of kind of like mental and spiritual healing.
Love it.
A lot of visualizing just faith and healing in the body. And I did anything and everything I could do, from feeding my body for power and strength to Epsom salt baths in the morning, to really deep motivational conversations with my partner at the time, who was like, listen, if you quit, because I could have quit mid-season. Most people want to quit mid-season, by the way. Seriously. Even most people on the show want out mid-season. It's just too hard. But I remember there was a moment, and I wrote about this in my book. He was like, what does that mean, like, if you quit? And I had an injury, so I could have respectfully bowed out. What does that mean to the kids? And what does that mean to yourself for all the effort that you put into this? What's that message?
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh. Oof.
And I had never really put my all into anything before.
Yeah.
So mind shift, changed the dialogue, learned how to think like an athlete, learned how to train like an athlete, learned how to perform like an athlete, had that meeting of the minds with Derek where we did a left turn. We decided to pivot. We're like, we are both here. We might as well win.
What? I have the chills.
And we might as well show up every day, because we were showing up to rehearsals. He was recording an album. He was exhausted, and he had to drive to me. I had 4 kids at home. I was like, you think you're tired? I've been up with the baby. I've got 4 kids at home. I just dropped them off at school, and now I'm here. I haven't slept. I'm rolling through my hormones. I just put my whole life. You think you're tired? We had to we had to meet each other in the studio when we started to succeed. How are you? I am really shitty.
Oh my God, how's this?
Let me tell you how shitty mine. And we just got real. I have goosebumps. We got present. We got honest with each other. And we were like, I feel really shitty too. Let's roll our sleeves up. Yeah. Let's put our war paint on.
Holy moly.
But that's better than, I'm cool.
Communication, honesty. And in that, I bet you guys, in that vulnerable and that real, the trust and the synergy came together, I'm sure, so much better.
It's the only way to work together as a partner. It's the only way to work together as a community.
Yeah.
It's the only way to work together as a leader.
Yeah.
With your team.
Yeah.
It's the only way I know how to communicate with the people in my life. And by the way, if we can go deeper, it's the only way to communicate with yourself. To get really honest. So when's the last time, and you see me do this in class, so I start class out now in the first minute for everybody to do a little personal inquiry and just say, how am I doing? When's the last time you asked yourself, how am I doing?
Right.
And that's emotional for a lot of people.
It is.
Because we forget to slow down long enough to just say, how am I doing?
Yeah. We block everything out. That is so inspiring.
Thanks. It's true, but it's real stuff, and I didn't know that. back then. So, I learned that. I learned that
Yeah.
because I almost failed. And then in that moment where you have two choices, do you fail or do you shift? Or do you fail or do you just tweak? Or maybe you're going to fail and you don't know how to shift. Just go explore your options. What else is there besides that? Because failing and giving up is easy.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Way easier.
Way easier
Yeah.
than fighting
Yeah.
a fight. But if you can explore that and you're aware of it, I promise that inner dialogue is not going to let you cop out.
Yeah.
If you learn how to let that inner voice get loud
Right.
enough.
Yep.
So,
And you may have to pivot. I just know this from being out there in the world communicating. A lot of people feel like giving up right now. Like what I did 2 years ago is not working this year, and that's something, seeing your evolution and all the things you've put yourself into. It feels like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've pivoted. You knock down the door. Like, you just do it. Just Nike it, right? You just do it. And I feel like I'm constantly reminding people that we're supposed to grow, we're supposed to change, we're supposed to evolve. It's okay if you end a relationship. It's okay if things dramatically change in your life, but you can't let that be an excuse to stop showing up for yourself, for people in your life, for what maybe your creator, whatever you believe has birthed inside of you. Like, we just use all these excuses. You've had so many things you could use as an excuse, Brooke. I've been in your life long enough where you've had loss, tragic loss. And I was like, wait, she's gonna come serve us? Like, she's, I think of when Brooke does a class, or whether it's online, in person, it's like I'm like, she's showing up to serve us, and she just went through a loss in the family. And I'm like, wow, like that's like service to others.
Thank you for saying that. I remember what you're talking about. When my brother passed away and I was teaching class that week, I think I taught a breath work that week. Part of that is my own honesty and commitment to the people that I'm guiding, so that I can walk the talk and that I can have faith in my own personal connection. So when I think about loss, I don't like the word failure, but when we shift, when we lose our way, when things go so wrong, it's easy to I'm really good. I could just carry on. I could just get back into my... But I think slowing down and really getting present with that and really being honest with that. I remember teaching a breathwork class after my brother passed away and saying to my audience, I'm sharing this with you because I'm asking you for your honesty and your presence. So I need to be honest with you to tell you what I'm going through. And in going through that, I need to do this work. So that's my commitment to doing the work of transformation, of the body work, the emotional work, the spiritual work, of mindful fitness. And also the commitment that I have really to the community. But I promise you, I get so much out of what I give. Even when I was doing the transformation retreats with women, I came back there so much smarter, so much more connected. I learned so much, like finding the little learning opportunities. So part of why I keep teaching even in hard times in my life is because I get so much out of it. And it makes me happy. And it feeds my soul. And I learn so much. So something you said, just going back a little bit, when things go really wrong, I always look for like the helpers. Even, with the tragedies of the world right now and loss and the pandemic and culturally speaking, the violence, there's always the helpers out there. There's bad people out there. There's things that go wrong. There's situations that we struggle even describing and defining to our children. But then you look for the helpers and you look for the goodness in it. And, not to be naive and be like the cheerleader of that, but I always feel like there's learning opportunities there that are hard, but that are super necessary. And maybe that's why I'm honest about it, honest with my kids, honest with the community. Of just facing the things that are happening in the world and life, love, family, all of it, right?
What excites you?
What excites me? Lots of things. Love excites me.
Yeah.
So I love being in love. I'm really corny in love. I'm really grateful to be able to say that in a new relationship. So that excites me.
And
a lot.
engaged.
And engaged.
Yay.
Watching my children succeed.
Yeah.
And experiment and develop their certain talents. Like, I'm really excited to watch my children sing and perform. What excites me? I'm a lover of life, so I'm generally pretty happy, but I'm excited when I watch people come on the other side, women come on the other side of a transformation. Like, I love it. I'm connected to them. I'm forever connected to them. Just joy, success. And I don't mean success like in material ways.
Yeah.
I mean success if I get to be part of someone's journey, encouraging them, and watching them have a breakthrough. That really excites me, and then makes me want to go back to the drawing board and do more and write more and create more. So I'm really lucky to be able to do things that I love doing in my career.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good.
That's so good.
You've seen that. Like,
yeah.
You've witnessed that firsthand.
It's incredible. Yeah.
What excites you? Just because I love that question.
Like energy. People excite me.
Yeah.
And being around people that are unapologetically themselves gives me permission, to rise up. And I was telling someone the other day, I'm like, we have endless opportunities. We put limits on ourselves. It's all fake. It's perception. It's society perception. Like, you can do anything you want to do. And it's all a decision.
Yeah.
And that really freaks me out, but excites me at the same time. I love the charge of it and transforming people's lives. I mean, that's where the fulfillment is. Whenever I'm in a funk, I'm like, who can I serve today? Who can I help today? And then I go help someone and I'm like, okay, I'm better now.
People probably don't know this. Going back about 3 years, that's how we met.
Yeah.
So Emily was introduced to me from Courtney, and we were doing a workout video, and then we connected, and then I began to understand your story, and then we sat down to do an interview, and I felt like you were such a powerhouse motivator, and I still get inspired when I watch you do what you do. But when you say, like, the excitement of serving people, I feel like Brooke Burke Body and everything I do in the wellness space is my act of service.
It is.
And sometimes people are like, why do you do what you do? And I feel compelled to do this work. Yeah. I get so much out of doing this work. But I also feel like sharing those gifts and those messages, which are very organic to me and very authentic for me. And I love it. And I get so much out of it. And I know you're that same type of woman where you can wake up and say, how can I serve today? It's what drives us. Yeah. It's one of the things that really drives us. And it's real. Yeah. When you figure out the essence of who you are and what motivates you. Yeah. Right? And what makes you feel good, what creates energy in ourselves. I think it's being of service to other people. Yeah. Right? Oh, absolutely. And we all have something to teach, something to give. Everyone does. That's right. And sometimes you can meet certain people and you're like, what am I going to teach them? They have this credentials and that and whatever. Well, I love that too. Yeah. I love that challenge. Yeah. She's not going to drink that Kool-Aid. Who is she as a woman? Yeah. And what's missing? Because there's something missing also in all of us, right? Yes. And we keep learning. If your mind and your heart are open, you keep learning and you keep evolving. Yeah. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. Oh. Well, this has been incredible. Thank you. Thank you for opening up. I always love our conversations. To all of us. And I'm always open because that's all I can really be is honest. And way back when I started Modern Mom and wrote my book, I was like, I am committed to sharing it all, not just the fabulous parts of my life. So in that, even in a fitness world, I want to get into the struggle. I want to open up the dialogue with women about the reality of the real days and the honesty. And so I want to unpack that a little bit with you briefly, because that comes up a lot for me, and I know it does for you in your world about motivation and finding the energy and just finding the ability on day to day to do what we do. There are so many women that don't know how to start, or don't know why they lost their sense of selves, or are in their own way, or maybe have fear, or maybe don't have confidence in their ability, their coordination.
Yeah.
Maybe they gained so much weight in their pregnancy or during their pandemic or in their marriage or in love.
Yep.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's not a number on a scale. But they have found themselves in a place that doesn't feel good.
Yep.
That they don't recognize themselves so far into it that they don't know how to get back to who they were once.
Yeah.
And so what do we say to people? How do we inspire them? How do we guide them? How do we even motivate them to begin?
Yeah.
And a big part of Brooke Burke Body is beginning small, setting attainable goals.
Yeah.
And knowing that we're all going through similar things at different
For
times
sure.
in our life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how do we encourage women to listen and to honor that funk? I like to call it a funk. To honor it and to accept it, and then just to begin.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we begin?
Yeah, one step in front of the other. And I believe, like, what I do whenever I'm trying to figure something out, whether it's finances, business, body, you name it, I find a mentor. And a mentor isn't somebody who's going to come to your house. Like, Brooke doesn't come over and isn't, yeah, I mean, there's some days we can meet each other to work out, or we can do the class, but I mean, it's out there. People are out there. You got to be resourceful, and having that virtual mentor, that support, that inspiration. And that's what you do and provide to so many people, where they can plug into you on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. They can read your book, they can get the app, and that, I call that total immersion, where you immerse yourself into something new. And you got to change your energy. You got to change your environment if you feel like you're in a funk. And just by having that one person, just do one more. Yeah. You can hear, okay, let it burn. Yeah. The burn is the change.
My community's probably so sick.
I can hear her. I'm like, my ass is burning. Okay.
I'm like
but we're made to be in community and to serve each other. And you need to find somebody that's gonna uplift you. And I feel like that's what you've really created.
Thank you.
For a lot of people that feel, I mean, even if they're already motivated, they can go to another level. Listen, I'm already motivated. Yeah. But I need to have someone in my life that can take me to another level, physically, mentally, spiritually.
That is so important. We talked about that in our first Woman to Woman. So you find your inspiration, and you find people that can just nudge you, push you a little bit. Yeah. And nowadays, in a digital world, you can get it on YouTube, you can get it for free, you can get it on the app, you can get it on the gram. You can find someone that you kind of just check in with a little bit every day that might give you that one little aha moment, that one little siren song that is just that little tiny little thing that you needed, right? That little bit of feel good. That's so true. I also think it's really important to make a commitment to yourself. Oh yeah. Make a commitment to yourself and be worthy of it, and just keep that commitment. And it could be a daily commitment. Yeah. It could be a weekly commitment.
Oh yeah. I mean, it starts out so small. Like, even this morning, I got up and I did 10 minutes of meditating. Okay, nothing dramatic. And I wrote down 5 things I was grateful for and did a little prayer.
You've been doing that for a long time.
I have. And it just sets the tone. And it changes the way that I show up in all my interactions, whether it's virtually, in person. Energy is real. Yeah. And, I'm kind of around some people sometimes, and I'm like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, your energy sucks. Like, they're like, my business won't go anywhere. I have my relationships, and I'm like, okay, have you ever took some personal inventory? Right.
I like to call it frequency. Yeah. And this is a real thing. Yeah. Vibrations. When I always say raise your average, change your frequency. When you become more knowledgeable, when you get more tapped into yourself, you become more mindful about your wellness goals, your whole being, you are more sensitive to things around you that don't feel good, which goes back to the beginning of this interview. Yeah. Get rid of things that don't feel good. Yeah. Find your own personal awareness, right? And our vibrations are very real, and the people that you surround yourself with. And then knowing how to shift yourself out of that space too. Yeah. And that can be done. So you don't have to stay and live in your funk. You don't have to live in that place that doesn't feel right. And I think we have access to so much now to really shift out of that.
Oh, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
You know, Einstein says everything in your life vibrates as a result of the frequency that you're on, something like that. But you're always oscillating all day on the emotional guidance scale of fear, disappointment, doubt, jealousy, whatever. And those are the low frequency emotions. Even when I say that, you feel low, but when you go up the gradient scale to fulfillment, to serve, to joy, all the high vibrating frequency emotions, I mean, the biggest thing you can do in your life is be conscious of it.
Yeah.
And go, and that's why it's so important to
even
check
to be
in.
aware of when do you need a shift.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's just experience and knowledge and the willingness to tap inside and really discover that and then honor it. So I think that's a really important part of the journey.
It's so important.
Yeah, I love it. And you have great energy.
So do you. That's why I'm telling you. I you know, sometimes people are like, I want to hang out, and I'm like, change your energy.
Yeah, change your frequency.
Because it's that important. It really, really is. And you can do. I mean, eating prana-like food, healthy food. That's raising your frequency.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you eat junk, it's going to be lower frequency. There's so many little things you can do. The music you listen to. I mean, we were talking to, you know, at night, even listening to the beats, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many things that you can do from the sound bowls. Lots of them. Lots and lots and lots of ways. And we're going to get into all that too in your podcast. So make sure you find Emily. Check out her podcast. Find us on the app. Find us on the gram. Just find us.
Yeah, find us.
We're here for you.
We're here at
Brooke
Burke Body. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Emily.
Yeah.
I love this. We could talk all day.
I know.
Let's just keep
You're
going.
amazing.
Thank
you. Love you.
Adore you. Love you too. Bye, everybody.